welcome in to Throwtown Ramona. We just had day 2 of the 2026 Ramona World Invitational wrap-up, and what a day it was. We're here inside the gym here in Throwtown Ramona. Some pretty solid signatures behind me. I don't know how well they'll come through on camera. We got Ryan Krauser, Roger's on here, so 2 Olympic champs there. Jaime Perez after she threw 73. Henrik Janssen. Pretty nice little banner behind me. Today it was a very interesting day. If you can tell by the state of my shoes and my pant legs, we got a little bit of rain. The first competition of the day, it was men's and women's javelin going at the same time. Supposed to start at 11, did not start until a little after 4:30. The hammer comps got pushed way back, so it's 9:43 right now as we start recording this. And men's hammer just wrapped up about 10 to 15 minutes ago, and this place is shutting down pretty fast. It's been a long one. Tomorrow's going to be a long one, too. We've got lots of comps kind of squished together because of the weather, but we're making the most out of it. And these throwers today really made the most out of it with some incredible marks. We'll start in the men's javelin. Curtis Thompson comes right out, absolutely swinging. 85-33 for Curtis. It's not his opener. Last year he PB'd in his opener at Texas Relays through 87 high, but 2 weeks ago at the USATF Winter Long Throws Nationals, Curtis competed. Season opener 74-50, I think. So he had a 10-meter season's best today, and then backed it up just time and time again. 2 more throws over 80, then 82-90 in round 6 to close this series out. Really impressive series from Curtis, especially with the adversity they kind of had to deal with today. And like he was saying 2 weeks ago in Tucson, pretty adverse conditions, unexpectedly windy, he was kind of saying. So in a situation where he's better equipped and kind of more prepared to deal with that like he was today. Today wasn't necessarily super windy by the time they got to throwing, but the rain was still coming down a little bit and just kind of generally messing things up. So still really impressive for Curtis to put together a series like this one. Elvis Graham takes second in this one at 72-49, and then Caleb Calvin, the reigning D2 national champ, rounds out the podium, 71-95 for third. On the women's side, Madison Wiltrout also won this competition on her first throw, the same way Curtis did. Madison goes 58-65, ends up beating Rima Odebor at 56-54 by over 2 meters. And for Madison, same thing as Curtis. Impressively consistent series, 4 throws between 58-65 and 57-54. So in about a range of a meter, a really strong range, she put 4 out of 6 throws. And Madison is coming off of a PB 2 weeks ago to open her season at the USATF Winter Long Throws Nationals, going 61. And when I was talking with Madison afterwards, it's really important that she is opening her season so well, because the World Ultimate Championships this year, which Women's Jav is a part of, that's a tougher lineup to make than the World Championships, which she did qualify for last year in Tokyo. The field is about half the size, so she really needs to kind of up those marks to become more internationally competitive, and the early returns for that are really great. And it was just a really good interview overall with Madison. My first chance I've gotten to speak with her, but really fun time chatting with her, so check that out on P. Hoff Mahoney on Twitter and Paulie Throws on Instagram. Solid day for Rima Odebor in second. Like I said, 56-54. Might be her season opener, and then Maddie Harris, 55-88, rounds out the podium. Women's hammer was slated to be the marquee event of the day, with Camryn Rogers taking on Rachel Richardson, and they absolutely delivered. But the deliverance in that event, so to speak, started actually in the first flight. Maddie Malone, the Auburn grad, 73-91 on her second throw. Almost 1.5 meter PB, and she hadn't PB'd since the 2023 NCAA championships, where she threw a huge PB in that meet as well. So really exciting to see her put this mark out there. You know, we don't have enough really good women's hammer throwers in the U.S. So it's great that we've just added one more to that collection. And a strong series from Addie as well, also going over 72, over 71, and another over 70. So she put together probably the best series of her life. Callie Terza out of Kennesaw State, one of the best NCAA throwers this season. She threw 69 last week at Florida Relays, 68 today to take second in that first flight. But you get to the second flight, the big dogs come out to play. Camryn Rogers, 79.63 for the win. A week after going 81.13, which is the fourth best mark in world history, just ahead of Rachel Richardson, who finished second at 78.30. That's the second best mark of Rachel's career. For Camryn, you know, it's the bar is so high with her, and she just continues to raise it, because with this mark, you go through her last three competitions now, Tokyo, Texas Relays, and now here. Those are the three best competitions of her career in a row, which is just so unbelievably impressive when you're already at the caliber where she took a really big leap in Tokyo, going over 80. And I think she jumped from maybe 6th to 2nd on the all-time list. She was already clearly one of the best throwers in history, already a two-time global champion. And now she's just so seamlessly taken this leap, and she's continuing to show that that leap is there every single time she steps in the ring. Even with a rain delay today, even with a still wet circle in the early rounds, some adverse conditions. I mean, she put out some big-looking sector fouls. And the series is just... it's just a Camryn Rogers special. 76.92 in round 2, and then she closes it out with a 78.85 that looked really, really big. The hammer was also a lot of fun because the sector here was just a massive lake. And so when you have a 4K or a 16-pound ball landing in that lake, there's a really big splash that comes with it. And so that was really fun to watch. Just an incredible day for Camryn. For Rachel, 78.30, also goes 76.31, also goes 74.22. Really, really encouraging start to the season for Rachel. She picked up the win 2 weeks ago in Tucson at the USATF Winter Long Throws Nationals, going 76 high. And through two competitions, two full series of 12 throws, she only has 3 fouls in there, and 6 of her throws are over 74 meters, which is really impressive given that consistency was kind of her Achilles heel last year. You know, it bit her in the butt a little bit at Ironwood, where I think she fouled out. Almost kind of came back to nip her at USA's, and then Worlds didn't go the way she had hoped it would. But the early returns from this season are just looking so good for Rachel, and that is really exciting to see. Just really, really strong. I mean, it's tough when you're going against Camryn, because you lose by 1.5 meters, but it's also like 78.30 is still ridiculously far. So for both of those ladies, really, really strong days here in Ramona. Jelani Davis over 70 as well, finishing 3rd in that second flight and 4th overall behind Camryn, Rachel, and Maddie. Men's hammer, Texas Tanner in his second competition. So I said yesterday, you know, the A flight and also the B flight now of the men's discus has been moved from Sunday to Saturday. That means that Texas Tanner is competing 4 times in 3 days. He went for the casual 69.56 and 74.83 double over the last 2 days. He throws 69 meters, a 6-meter PB in the discus on Thursday, and today 74.83 in round 6 to take the win over a really strong field. He was leading most of the way. He had gone over 74 in round 3, but then Tyler Williams comes back, 74.67, takes the lead in round 5, and Texas answers. And I mean, he's got shot in the morning and then has discus in the late afternoon tomorrow once again. This is the stuff legends are made out of. And Texas is just absolutely incredible. And he really has a chance to cement just like an all-time throwing weekend tomorrow, and it's going to be really fun to watch. Tyler Williams, strong mark for him taking second, like I said, 74-67. Kieran McKeague, 73-12. With a little bit of a foul-filled series for him. Then Alex Young, 72-25. So 4 guys over 72 for a field that it was missing any of the 3 members of Team USA from last year. Still some strong marks, and with Texas losing the lead and then retaking it late, a fun competition as well. So really strong day 2 here in Ramona, even if it was a bit of a slower start than we thought it might be. On deck for tomorrow, men's and women's shot put. You got Chase Jackson, Maggie Ewan, Yorinda Van Klinken, Jessica Ramsey in that women's field. In the men's field, Roger Steen, Nick Ponzio, Rajindra Campbell, Uziel Munoz. And then you got into discus. All of the women's discus action. Valerie Sion trying to get revenge after taking a loss yesterday. Yorinda Van Klinken, Alita Van Dalen, Melina Robert-Michon, Sierra Jackson, Erica Beistel, Jaden Ulrich, Marika Steinecker. There's so many names, I cannot possibly do them all justice. Those competitions are going to be insane. And then I believe it's after the women's comps wrap up, then the top 2 flights of the men go. Maddie Denny, Christian Che, Sam Mattis, Alex Rose, Steven Richter. That's Texas Tanner trying to close out just a ridiculous weekend. Tomorrow's going to be so much busier than we originally thought it might be, with the women's shot and 2 flights of men's discus added onto it, but that's just going to make it a lot more special, and that's going to make this recap, unfortunately, much longer tomorrow, and that means that Audrey is going to have to hold a camera for much longer tomorrow. So Audrey, I apologize in advance for the weather, but that's the things we do for this sport that we love here in Ramona. And that's all I got for you guys tonight, so I'll see you tomorrow.